We live.
We gotta remove
We're
Ellis's.
live.
We are good.
We're live.
Good. It's telling me I gotta remove Ellis's. What's up? What's up? What's up? Good people. As you can see, the technical difficulties here are real, but that means that we are real too. We in the building. It's another Friday, another opportunity to get together and record the Ball Hog Sports Talk. Thanks for letting me know we live, Big Flow Show. We do not have Ellis in the building today. We got two of the three in the crew, and we're gonna do what we do. We know what that is because it's the Ball Hog Sports Talk, where sports, business, and entertainment collide. A few businessmen, in this case, two businessmen, get together to discuss and with good discourse, sports in an entertaining fashion. We're gonna do a rough, rugged, and raw. Today's episode is going by the beginning of the end of the season, man, the end of the year, the end of a lot of things, and the beginning of new things. We know the New Year's resolutions will be abound. Everyone's going to say what they're going to do next year. I kind of like the skits that tell people, stop telling me what you're going to do, just do it. But I do like listening. And so we are going to listen by way of paying attention to what we're doing in sports, business, and entertainment this week. Two of the three are in the building. We're going to make it rough, rugged, and raw like we always do. Stay tuned. Fasten your seatbelt. The Ball Hawk Sports Talk is coming to you right now. Let's go.
Let's go.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, and stay woke. Because this is the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy, B. Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're going to give it to you rough, rugged, and raw. So come get you a spoonful, like some grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on, let's go.
In the building once again is on. What's up with you, man, from the mid coast?
Middle coast. I'm gonna start getting a shirt.
The middle coast. From the middle coast, the man, the myth, the legend, I shall be known and respected intergalactically as the Big Flow Show's in the building. What's up, my brother?
Nothing much, man. What's good with you, man? Just coming out here. Got my new school clothes, as my wife likes to say. Bought me a little Christmas shirt. I know y'all, the Ball Hog Sports crew has seen my entire wardrobe. Every Friday, I try to pick out a shirt y'all ain't seen, and I can't find one because I'm old. I don't like new. I don't buy a lot of new stuff. So my wife got me some school clothes. So
man, I tend to think that people are so interested in our riveting debates that they ain't even watching what we wear. That's my.
But
argument.
you know, I mean, in many circles, I'm considered a sex symbol. So like, I kind of have an obligation that I have.
How many circles are you considered?
I mean, I don't know. They're all concentric circles.
You said many. That's relative.
Many
so
circles. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I don't want to brag. This is a family show. I don't want to say it, but I've been named. You know, I think I was Life Magazine Sexiest Male last year. If I'm not mistaken.
Right. Life Magazine. I got it. Yep.
Or Mad Magazine, maybe with Alfred E. Newman in them. One of those. But you know what? Hey, if you don't think you're sexy, then nobody will.
Absolutely, man. Hey, because this is the beginning of the end. It's the end of the year where everyone is doing that self-assessment. To hear your self-worth personified in this statement that some might think is ridiculous, that you have been called the sexiest man of the year in certain circles, but some might agree with you, man. It's just
I think you'd be hard pressed to produce somebody who doesn't agree, because I know that one person who has a microphone here agrees. The other one better shut his damn mouth. So
I'll take that advisement. I'll take. I don't want no fight at the end of the year.
There's no smoke, man. It's the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of the end.
It's the beginning of the end. So this is the eve of New Year's Eve. And that is the beginning of the end. We all are starting to be reflective and look back on how much money we saved, how much progress we made when looking at last year's New Year's resolutions, how much weight we gained or lost, how many
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
I'm not looking at nobody. Okay. I'm not looking at
I feel like you looked at me. I don't understand what that's all about. What are we doing?
Hey man, you're the sexiest man in the world.
I know. So you feel like you gotta kick me down a notch? You know what I'm saying?
No. I look, once you get that,
my mom and dad watch this show, but
once you get that acknowledgement, man, everything else is secondary.
It's everything. Well, I'm just a plus size model.
We do know that the gyms will be filled coming the next 2 weeks because everyone's going to finally use their membership. Everyone's going to write down on their New Year's resolutions, and it's a bad time to be in the gym. But if you're one of those people that didn't do it last year and you're looking forward to starting a new year and turning over a new leaf and creating new habits and new routines and a new diet, we are encouraging you. So this show is an encouragement show. The beginning of the end has two very prominent bookends to it, right? The end is the end of the year. The end may be of bad habits, of bad eating, of bad relationships that you might be in, or uh, being bad as whatever, a sibling. We're trying to do better. The end, that's one of the bookends. But the other bookend is the bright, shiny tomorrow. And the beginning part is what we're going to focus on today. And how dare I not start with the beginning of a new era, baby? The NFL. The Cleveland Browns. Yes, those Cleveland Browns that have been we've been disrespected. We have been tarnished.
Well
We've been
deserved.
called the mistake by the lake, all of them things. But the one
Cleveland
thing,
Clowns. Shall we go on?
we don't need to go on. Thank
Okay.
you. I
Okay.
appreciate you, but we're
Okay.
good. I
I'm
think
always here
everyone
for
gets
you,
the
brother.
gist. Yeah.
I'm always here for you.
But what you have to call us now is playoff bound officially as of last night when we did to the Jets what most people do to the Jets this year. So I don't want to overdo this, but it is a celebratory moment when the Browns make it to the playoffs. We in, and we are the first NFL team to ever make it to the playoffs. The first ever to be playoff bound while having 4 different quarterbacks start in the season. That's not one of the things you want to brag about, but it is what it is. You got to brag about it because we are in the playoffs, but it's not the prettiest way to get there, but we're in there. And Flacco, we trust. We're in the playoffs. And so
Flacco
while
been doing a little something. Flacco
Flacco
been doing a
four
little
and
something.
one, Flacco 4-1,
Flacco been doing a little
four and
something.
one. Flacco's 4-1. Give him his props. Aflac.
John who?
I wouldn't bet on it in terms of how far we're going to go. I'm happy that we made it under the circumstances,
Mhm.
and that's as far as I'm willing to go. The Jets look bad, but to see, you know, where we are as an organization, as a franchise, I'm happy, man. I think they got the right coach, Kevin Stefanski, tongue twister. And I also think that we are still at this really weird place because you have a defense. We have proven that defense wins championships, or in this case, defense gets you to the playoffs. We will not win the division because the Ravens did what they needed to do in beating the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Uh,
How about him?
how about them Cowboys? I'm sorry, 49ers rather. Sorry, lost to the Cowboys. The Cowboys lost to the Dolphins. I messed that up, but I was going to get there. The Cowboys had a big hurdle to cross. They had to go to Miami and beat the Dolphins in Miami. Instead, Dallas came up short. As we project into these playoffs, right, by losing to the Dolphins in Miami, they've lost their stronghold on the NFC East. They're now in second place to the Philadelphia Eagles. And some might argue there's trouble in paradise.
Are they? Did they split with the Eagles this year?
I don't remember whether they are with the Eagles. I
They
think they
pistol whipped them last time, though.
pistol whipped
I
them
give them
last time.
credit, but they got the
They
same
did.
record.
Yep.
Just so for those at home that do not have Google, so far the clinched playoff spots are the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Browns, and then the 49ers, Eagles, Lions, and the Cowboys. Cowboys hanging on by a thread, but they're the last place clinchers. So, um, that's where we go. There's a lot of movement at the bottom. There's people, even the Bears still have a chance. They're not mathematically out of it, which just sounds crazy as hell to me. But there's a lot of stuff that can go on. But I think this is going to be a great playoff. I don't know who I would pick right now. The 49ers look good. The Ravens look good. The Dolphins look good. The Browns, I think they look like their defense. They got number one defense, I think, in the NFL right now.
Yes.
Um,
We go back and forth. Some argue that the Ravens have a better defense. Ravens have been injury prone. We have been relatively healthy, knock on wood, on defense. But the best defense does come out of that division. Either the Ravens or the Browns, two very good defenses. And we saw what the Ravens were willing and able to do against what was the number one offense in football, the 49ers. We saw what they were able to do against Brock Purdy, who was the odds favorite to win the MVP before last weekend. And we are at that point. What's up, my man? Scott Bibb is in the house. What's up, Rick Sherlock is in the building. What's up to everybody? Like we ask every week, please like, comment,
Cool
share,
deal.
tag a friend, tag a foe, tag anybody that you know, and please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and the podcast. My man Cordell Smith says, "Go Browns!" Absolutely.
No doubt.
But those were the two games. Those were the two big games last week. We can get to Kansas City because they've been sliding. We'll talk about them. But if you look at the two big games last week that most of our focus was on, it was in the Dallas and the Miami game. Miami hosted and did what they needed to do, took control of the game, but it was a good game. It was a good game. I'm not going to say that the Cowboys completely imploded. But then you had the Ravens and the 49ers, and the same people that got on Cam Newton for calling Brock Purdy a game manager. The same GMs that in the offseason were noticeably outspoken saying that they didn't feel like Lamar Jackson was a guy. And some argue was another form of collusion. When a black quarterback is going back and forth with his franchise about their contract negotiations and whether or not they're going to pay him, just without anybody asking, there are a lot of GMs that had a lot to say about Lamar Jackson. Well, I would argue that not only was Cam Newton right, that Brock Purdy is a game manager, and when he's managing it, it's great, but when he throws 4 picks, it's not so great. But I would also argue that those GMs, they got a large dose of humble pie, a big old, combo meal of shut the fuck up, because Lamar Jackson went out there and put on for the city. While his stats don't represent MVP stats, I will say that
they do not. That was where I was going next.
I think he won the MVP in that game.
It's interesting because the Heisman and we had this conversation about college football at the Heisman, and I thought, should we stop paying attention? Should we not have the conference championship games count towards the Heisman? I look at the same way here. You have late game matchups that mean something, right? Not everybody has those, right? So he happened to be in a big game, head-to-head with Purdy, and we throw out the entire season because Purdy threw a bunch of picks. Lamar Jackson didn't pick any of those balls off, but since Brock Purdy threw a bunch of picks in that game, suddenly Lamar Jackson, even though he's 10 touchdowns behind him, is the MVP. He's in the middle of the road in every category. He doesn't lead the NFL.
If you had a vote, let's make it simple then. Let's use we're a small sample size. It's just 2 of us, and we will also ask the same question to those who are watching the live audience feed of this. But if you had a vote, who does the MVP vote go to?
It's a difficult year this year. I would have said Cheetah before he got hurt, and now he's just limping across because he was just doing amazing things. I would say I'll probably give it to Christian McCaffrey before I give it to Purdy, right?
That's the challenge. They're going to split the vote.
They're going to split the vote.
And Christian McCaffrey still had over 100 yards, but it's just tough to give it to a running back when a big portion of the narrative is the fact that he catches so many passes out the backfield. Well, there's somebody throwing him those passes.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's unfair. Quarterback get double credit, right? He get double money. He throws you a 5-yard out, you turn it up for 90 yards. He gets the stats. Like somehow he made you juke all those people and run fast. But it sounds like the father of a quarterback, or father of a receiver. But anyway, but then I heard a stat today. Josh Allen is responsible for 83% of his team's touchdowns.
Right now, his team isn't scoring a lot. So
right, they only score 1 touchdown every 3 weeks.
Right, they've struggled to score versus where they were last year, but still 83% is a large percentage of the output. He's definitely doing what he needs to do. But you ain't giving it to Josh Allen. I'm
answering your question with facts that leading me to believe that I don't really know who to give it to. Based on statistics, Brock Purdy was in that case until 1 game. And I feel like that is always the Heisman and the MVP comes down to one big pivotal game.
Right.
And is that really how it should work? So I don't know. I'm not gonna cry if Lamar Jackson gets it. I wouldn't put my money on it because it's negative 200 at the at Vegas right now, and Brock Purdy going for plus 1,200. So if he does something, then he's gonna probably sit a week since they're clinched. They're probably gonna sit. So there's a lot of interesting stuff to go on. So I'm gonna defer and say I don't know. I don't know.
If I had a vote, I gotta give it to Lamar Jackson because while there is some recency bias to that statement.
How about Dak Prescott?
I mean, but Dak has struggled the last 2 weeks.
I would never vote for Dak Prescott. It's just a total joke.
Oh, that was a joke. I was about to say, but he was in the conversation.
He's in the hunt. He's in the conversation.
He's in the conversation. I mean, they haven't. In the reason I would give it to Lamar Jackson because yes, there is recency bias in that statement. Yes, there is recency bias in how we create the award or how we normally give the award, MVP and Heisman Trophy, which you have pointed out so eloquently. But I would also say that what you do when the lights are brightest, especially at quarterback, it matters to me.
It does.
And the lights were very bright. If you watch that game, not only did Lamar Jackson do what he needed to do in terms of controlling the offense, he made the right throws, which he was questioned ad nauseum. He's been questioned about whether or not he can make the right throws at the right time. He made those. He made them while also being pressured. You got, the two bookend defensive ends that the 49ers have. Arguably, two of the top 4 defensive ends are on the same team. So he was being pressured all night, and he made the throws. And then he delivered to me the gravitas, the attitude that you need in a winning quarterback. And his team seems to they seem to be drawn to him. And so that's why I would give it to Lamar Jackson, because the stats give you a very small snippet of what goes on in games. When you watch it in prime time, knowing that both teams needed a win, knowing that the entire NFL, both sides, right? First of all, he's 20-1 against the NFC, Lamar Jackson. Now I say he's got a team, so
I get it. Yeah, but that's just part of the course. All the play, all the credit, all the blame. Brock Purdy shit the bed. You can't throw that many picks. Now a lot of it was,
and he would have thrown a 5th if he didn't get like he came out hurt, or it would have been 5 picks if we're gonna be honest.
He was on pace.
He was on.
A couple of those were hit the guys in the hand, tipped up the ball, and unbelievable. I mean, how about the one? Did you see the one that what's her man, the safety from Notre Dame?
Only because I can't think of, you said it, and Hamilton.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Kyle
Hamilton. Yeah.
He gets like clipped. He's on his back.
On his back.
The lineman's laying on him. And he's sitting there like, I'm done. I got 300-pound dude on my back. And then he jumps up and it's like, I'll get back in this play, and gets another pick. Like Purdy just had bad luck.
It was one of those days.
How the hell that dude picked the ball off, man?
One of those days. But to me, honestly, it's the GMs that were so vocal about them being not sold, about them being not sold on Lamar Jackson. That was just
that's where I had to ask you about stats though. Okay, they weren't sold on Lamar Jackson. He's the one thing he defied is he's played every game this year. Right?
They didn't have to say anything, Big Flo. My thing is, okay, what you and I are going to talk about
coming out and colluding against him.
You didn't have to say anything.
Yeah, you're right.
You didn't have to. There was nothing to be said, and it leaked that seemed to be another form of collusion when it comes to these NFL franchises. That you did. Mums was the word, and it should be the word with the quarterback, a franchise quarterback, and his franchise going through what is normal posturing when it comes to the contract. There was no reason for any other team to show their hand and say they're not interested, and teams tried to say that they were doing that to double down and show confidence in their own quarterback. Like Miami, I think, was
never happened before, though.
Right? Yeah. Right. Like, you don't have to do that. That's just not a part of it. Until it becomes a part of it, just be quiet.
Shut up. You're right.
I found myself, look, they're in the division. The Ravens are in the same division with my Dawg Pound Browns. So and to be honest, that was a team that was stolen from Cleveland. So I've never loved the Ravens, but I found myself cheering for him in that moment because all too many times, people take it upon themselves to involve their opinions and stuff that you didn't have to say anything.
Didn't have to say that. No, I will agree with you 100% on that. Is like I've never seen people come out and say I'm not interested before. I'm still showing off my Christmas gifts because we won our bowl game. So
there you go. Oh, we gonna get to the bowl game. We're gonna get the bowl
there.
season.
Just, you know what I'm saying? We got to make sure,
You show some Northwestern. I like that. He opened it right here on
yeah, y'all heard me bust the plastic. So in case y'all, then
rip me out the plastic, acting brand new. You acting brand new, Northwestern. I see you, Northwestern. Wildcats in the building with the dub.
Let's go.
Dub.
Let's go.
But no, I found myself cheering for Lamar, man. And we're gonna hop into a few more things. But the reason I wanted to start here is because all too often when a player like Lamar Jackson is doing what they need to do from a leverage standpoint to negotiate the best deal that they can negotiate, or the player is holding out in whether it be OTAs or in camp, the fans are quick to rush to the side of the franchise. And the other quarterback situation that just has me scratching my head is now the Denver Broncos, who have not been mathematically eliminated. I don't think they've been mathematically eliminated either. Check that for me just to make sure I'm not mistaken there. But those Denver Broncos, Sean Payton and the franchise has announced that they're going to bench Russell Wilson. And the only reason that they are doing that is because there is some sort of clause in his contract.
They're on the bubble, so they're not in the eliminated, but they're like on the.
They're on the bubble. Okay, but they still can make it. They're going to take this several-time Pro Bowler who has shown flashes. He has not been the same Russell Wilson. He is not. I'm not going to go out on a limb and sound silly when I'm trying to be objective here. But to announce that you're going to bench him and being so prominent about it just seems really strange. And it's, I think, largely in part because of the clause that he has in there. Shout out to his representation. But there's a clause in there that says if he is unable to pass a physical by a certain time of next season, then he is owed, I think, $37 million, give or take. I'm rounding up, rounding down, whatever. And that's the reason behind it. But here's my issue, is that all too often, when the shoe is on the other foot and the player is holding out, fans come out of the woodworks saying it shouldn't be about the money. Doesn't he want to win? They'll burn the jerseys. There is no two-way loyalty, because whether you like it or not, when Russell Wilson came out and did his whole cowboy thing and where we're going, all of that stuff was, I thought, a sign that he was all in when it came to the Denver Broncos. And now here the Denver Broncos are, as a franchise, showing they're anything but all in when it comes to Russell Wilson. And this is going to be a black eye on his career. And I think that if you put some of the other greats in there, we look at just how many Pro Bowls he's been to, right? He should have won 2 Super Bowls, but that's a debate for another time. One was taken away from him by coaching decisions, right? If you put any of the greats, right? Sean Payton also coached Drew Brees. And I don't want to make it about complexion, but how hard is it not to make it about complexion? Because the last 2 storylines of great quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson and now Russell Wilson, you gotta at least acknowledge the complexion is a little different, and so is the treatment. I don't feel as though they would have been treated this way. Russell Wilson has been thrown under the bus. He is not the reason that the Denver Broncos have been losing. He struggled at the beginning of the year, but if you look at how he's turned it around, he's made some plays and put them in games. And yet, with an amazing career, he is being treated as though he is nothing but a marginal player. What say you?
So I don't, I disagree with the complexion portion of it. I think Russell Wilson blends in as much as anybody else. You would say that. So I wouldn't go there. He's a latte. So no one's really worried about him as far as the way he conducts himself. I can say Lamar Jackson. You would look at that because of how he carries himself. There's a lot of people who probably do not like how he carries himself, but everyone likes him.
And he doesn't even subscribe to the system, right? He's got his mom and his own
mom. He does whatever. He doesn't care. So I can see that with him. I think I don't think Russell Wilson. He was trash last year. He was trash year. This is his third year there, right?
This is his third season there, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's been trash every year. He got to be marginal this year. They don't want to.
No, this is his second. I don't remember, but
I thought that he was trash, and then Peyton came in. He was trash again, but I could be wrong.
I think this is his second season there. We both could be wrong. I don't tend to follow the Broncos.
I think they signed him, and then in 22 they gave him they re-upped him. I don't. Who cares? Whatever. Long story short is he has not lived up to expectations, and $37 million could buy you a lot of people. And so I think they don't want to do it. I do agree with you that this family word that they throw around in sports is not to go to the race. It was just a way to mentally enslave people. It's just at your job, loyalty, this, that, the other. Where's your loyalty? That's what you say to people when you have nothing else to go on logic, right? You talk about this, When someone reminds you that we're family, it's because they ask you to do something that you shouldn't do, right? But we're family. We're family. Yeah. So you want me to treat you better than you've treated me. And as soon as you get an opportunity, you're going to screw me. So they want him to rewrite a clause so that the injury clause is gone so that they can just do exactly what they want to do and not have to pay him $35 million. And he said no. That's what he's supposed to say. I couldn't.
And he said he was caught by surprise that they even approached him with it. Yeah. Especially because you're still in the hunt. You're still in the playoff hunt.
And this was just after he beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Right?
He was shocked by it.
I'm thinking I'm doing pretty, you know what I'm saying? What's up? We just got the Chiefs. This is his best year since he's been at Denver. I still think he's marginal, but I think this is his best year he's been at Denver. They don't want to pay him the bread, but it is what it is. It's a business. No one will remember this because at the end of the day, they'll think the players are prima donnas. They don't want to look at the owners as prima donnas, and they never want to look at how the owners made their bread and what they came from and whatever. So I don't know. I get it. I mean, they don't want to pay him the money, and there's a lot of money in these contracts, and the NFL is not built on guarantees. And now there's so many guarantees. If they can get out of one, they're going to try to get out of it, and they don't want him to get hurt because they want to trade him, see what they can go do. So it is what it is.
And I understand why he would not renegotiate that.
Yeah, I mean,
if something happens to the now starter and he's put back out there and he gets hurt, it's just too many. We play a game that
they're not going to put him back out there.
Let's say that they don't have a choice.
Slides
let's say they don't have a choice, right? If they only go in with two quarterbacks and no emergency quarterback, maybe they'll always go in an emergency quarterback.
That's not going to happen.
Right? Maybe, or they'll.
He's not inactive though. They just made him not the starter. They have. He's an.
They have every plan to cut him.
Yeah,
it's already been decided, predetermined. They're going to cut him. I just think that players, this league, the Shield, has no value whatsoever without the players that have gone out there and put it on the line to build the foundation and the value of what the Shield is. And one of the players that has done has seemingly done everything right on the field, undeniable, first ballot Hall of Famer. Off the field, undeniable, first ballot Hall of Famer in terms of who he has been in the respective communities. He has represented the Shield better than 99.9999% of the people that have built the value in the Shield. And yet he still doesn't have enough cachet to be allowed to walk off the way that the greats before him have walked off. And absolutely. Some of it is he is being penalized by some really good terms that his representation got into the contract. But the other part is making me a little leery about.
Again, in fairness to Denver, all that good shit you're talking about, he did that in Seattle. He didn't do nothing for Denver. So I'm not paying for the goodwill you did for a team that was beating my head. You know what I mean? So
fair.
And their defense, like, I don't owe you nothing, man. I brought you over here. You've been away.
Fair. What have you done for me lately? It's more about the Shield to me. And Sean Payton being one of those coaches that had one of those quarterbacks in Drew Brees. Maybe it's not up to him. Maybe, the front office is saying this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, you're just executioner. But still.
Yeah.
Another situation, very interesting, man. Green Bay is suspended their corner, their starting cornerback for the, let's call it the flip gate, the coin toss gate. You heard this story where the corner decides on his own that he's going to be a captain because they're playing in his hometown. But he didn't stop there. No, you got to coordinate. Not only am I going to go out here and be the fourth of the 4 captains when the team had only decided on 3 captains, and seemed to get buy-in from his teammates. So this means that he was advocating for himself in the locker room. But when he goes out there, he's going to be the spokesperson for the
It's
coin
me.
toss.
It's
It's
me.
me.
I'm the captain.
The
I
captain.
think he took a Sharpie and put a C on his shoulder.
Does the unthinkable, because in youth football, I get to tell my kids when they go out there, all right, here are our 2 choices. If we win, we say this word, defer. So they don't say defense, because if you say defense instead of defer, that means the other team, if you choose to kick off, like that's your choice, as opposed to defer into the second half and make your choice then. That means the other team gets to make the choice at halftime. Hopefully, no one got confused by that. I said it, I think, as clear as possible. But you say, I defer, meaning you defer your option to choose to the second half. This young man didn't do that. He said, we want our defense out there, and got a bit indignant when asked afterwards. He's like, man, I said I want our defense out there. They knew what I meant. That the franchise, Green Bay, didn't find it very funny at all and has suspended him for a week. Do you think that was a suspendable offense?
Okay, so when I first heard the story, I glossed over the fact that he was a self-appointed captain, right? And I was like, man, he made a mistake, but he was out there. It's happened in history
Right.
before. Suspension for that? Man, but then now I know why he's never been a captain before. Like, I know he didn't get a chance on the rotation because the man doesn't understand. Like, look, you ask anybody who played football for me from kindergarten, defer. No one ever messes it up. Now, I happen to be standing right there staring right at their temple when they're saying it. But at the same time, they always say defer. They get it right. Has he's just not been a leader in his life? You're in the NFL, my friend, and you can't understand that you say defer as opposed to saying we want to go on defense. I kind of feel sometimes. How do you feel about the ref saying, did you mean that you want to defer? I don't like that, man.
Oh, you think they gave him a lifeline?
I don't like that. If I'm the other team, I said, nah. He said he want to go on defense.
He said what he said. We don't get to interpret.
He said what he said.
Him,
Are you sure that you don't have any diamonds? Nah, man,
right.
he reneged. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you can't do that. That's boring. That's table talk.
That's
table talk.
The nerve, like that dude when he looks in the mirror, right? We're coming to the beginning of the end, and everyone's doing self-reflection. When he looks in the mirror, he sees a captain. When he looks in the mirror, he sees.
As a captain, right there. Everybody knew I was supposed to be the captain.
He wasn't struggling with his identity, man. The team better get with it, man. Ain't no New Year's. The Green Bay Packers better make their New Year's resolution. See that man as a leader. As he
I'm a captain.
Himself.
Y'all know I'm supposed to be the captain.
You know I'm supposed to be the captain. Let's hop into some NBA, man, quickly, because we have now the longest ever losing streak. They already had the longest single season losing streak, the Detroit Pistons, at 27. Now they have the longest ever losing streak, even when you're looking at bookended seasons.
But they've accomplished it in 1 year, so they're
accomplished it in 1 year. So they're overachievers. But last night's game puts me in a really tough spot. I love Monty Williams, Notre Dame guy. I thought that how he handled the situation with his wife passing and his faith and how he represents Notre Dame, how he represents the NBA, and how he represents young black coaches getting an opportunity and what he's done with those opportunities. I was the one who defended him and said there's no way that he should have got fired in Phoenix. But it's tough for me to say a man that then lost 28 straight games with that young talent. They've had lottery picks over the last seeming like decade. But indeed, over the last 3 years, they've had lottery picks. They had 2 lottery picks last year. And with the kid from Memphis and Jaden Ivey. And so I'm in a tough spot, man. How do you lose 28 straight games? Last night they were up by 19 at one point, winning the overtime. A lot of it looked like coaching. A lot of it looked like coaching. You get to the point you're like, Monty, I've defended you enough, bro. They're 28 straight games, man. I mean, what do you talk about at practice? At some point, I mean, would it be okay for one of them to just tell Monty, yo, shut up, Monty, we're not doing that.
We got this.
We've tried your way already.
We got this, man. Sit this one out. I mean, if my man got suspended for flipping the coin the wrong way and he won the toss, you would think that I don't know what you do with Monty. I'm not gonna hate on the man because I couldn't coach in the NBA at this level, but it's impressive to lose that many. The worst thing is they started out 2-0. They were thinking, man, fuck this shit, man. We're gonna win the East.
We got the ball. We got
And the rest of the league said, "Hold my beer," and they took this on an ass kicking tour.
28
tough.
straight, bro. 28 straight. So, good luck to that, man. I saw one of the memes that I posted because I think the internet is just undefeated. In the same week that the Lions clinched and moved on and showed exactly where they are as a franchise, the Pistons are breaking the wrong kind of records. And they said that they had
It's only so many wins Detroit can get. Detroit can't stay winning. They
said that they had to sacrifice the Pistons in order for the Lions to.
The devil is a tough negotiator. You know what I'm saying? Look here, man. We can't do all this.
You ain't doing all of this. No. But shout out to Detroit, man. Good luck with the rest of the season. Rest in peace to Monty Williams' coaching career. I don't think you come back from this. This is one of the things that,
be all right.
Once you get fired, you become a special assistant, an advisor. You no longer get to be.
Notre Dame job started to look real good too.
I said that he should have took it, and everybody.
I said they should.
Why would anybody? Y'all clown me.
I did. I own that.
I said that, man. It's hard to win in the NBA. It's hard, and the bar is low at Notre Dame.
Isn't he the highest paid coach in the NBA?
I think so. I mean, he's the most recently paid, so probably. You know, it's like when you get a new locker room, man. It's always going to be the best locker room in the NBA.
Did you say y'all going to throw that out? I'm going to wife it.
Bro, I said that man, look, and Notre Dame's coach ain't doing that great. Men's coach, they're terrible. His rant is the best thing he's got going on so far. So
people think he look like me too. I'm going to shave my beard.
It's the beginning of the end, man. Is it the end of your beard? Or you
hell no. I'm going strong. Matter of fact, that's why I only got 15 minutes left because I got to go get her tightened up for New Year's so I can be in bed by 11.
There you go. Nice let's sprint then, man.
Let's sprint.
The other streak that was impressive but was also broken last night was the Memphis Grizzlies, who started off the season struggling without their leader, Jah Morant. They had 4 games in a row. They were 4-0. They were cooking. But Jah Morant in the last win before last night chose to do this. And look, y'all bear with me, man. Let's just watch it and then we'll go from there. Jah Morant
scroll up a little bit.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's see.
16.5 inbounded to Bain, back to Smart.
Oh wow!
Lob for Durant. Hammer, nail, coffin. His baby's over. Wow! Timeout, New Orleans. Wow!
Forget hold the basketball. You know what? Create another highlight play. Why don't you, Mr. Smart? I mean, listen, gets the ball in bounds. They go to double. Great job by Desmond Bain again. Now you can just hold it out. Wow.
This is the part I want you to watch. Watch the celebration.
With nobody around. Throw it up and finish it. Gets it right back. Now to finish here. You see it's coming in. The other 2 Grizzly players are on the other end of the floor. Nobody can help when in this situation. Beautiful fit pass, and we always know
what
12 can do with that type of pass.
Tonight's game produced by Scott Zachary, directed by Tom Hewitt.
After 22, automatic, and then he's going to go with the
Jason Boyer to help out as well.
I just don't know about Jah Morant, bro. I just don't know about Jah Morant because when I saw that, I'm thinking, and look, you got the liberty, you got the creative license to do what you want to do when you're celebrating. But at this point, I think even the imaginary guns, right? In this episode of the beginning of the end, when is the end of this chapter in his life where he does not appreciate the decision making that you need to make in order to be a megastar? This man almost like lost his Nike deal. Nike walked away from Kyrie Irving because they had this young, upcoming, promising, budding star that was iconic and cultural, almost to the likes of Allen Iverson. And they were going to sign over basically all of it. You're basketball now. He lost 25 games. He lost so many other opportunities. I think he had a watch. And the celebration that you choose, the creative license that you choose in that moment, and just the 4th game back,
Not one, not two, but 3 different guns. In
3
case,
guns. There
in
was a
case you thought I was
22,
just pointing at the
an
crowd,
automatic, and a bazooka.
I shoot it up, and it was.
And look, I'm a part of this group, brothers in the suburbs, and we go back and forth. And some really intelligent men were just like, "Yeah, man, but you could do it." No, there has to be common sense applied to opportunities that are like once in a lifetime. Because if not, then as a community, as a people, we got to stop saying that we got to stop blaming our deficiencies or lack of opportunities on other people. Because that is exhibit A. If I am in white boardroom of America deciding whether or not I'm going to write one of the largest checks and give one of the biggest opportunities to a young upcoming athlete who is knee deep in the culture, am I going to sign over a check? No. I'm showing exhibit A. It's going to be that same damn video we just showed and said, this is why you don't give them motherfuckers no money. That's not racist at that point. That's just, risk and reward.
Earned.
Like, I could not believe I'm watching
If
those
gives
like
if
I'm
gives
just
0 fucks was a person, he would look a lot like Jah Morant.
0 fucks given. And then in the same game, I should have had that video queued up. You got his dad, T. Morant, dancing pregame. I'm like, all right,
in the
bro.
video.
All up in the video. At what point, man, are we gonna grow up? Having
I
said
don't know,
that,
Jah, man. Do you, man. Keep it 100, man. Don't ever change for anybody. Just do you for the rest of your life, I guess, right? Let me know how that worked for you, man, because I feel like we haven't seen the end of this. Him and Draymond need to get a 2-on-2 basketball tour. Just can't get right.
just doing dumb shit.
Him and Draymond, they need to be together.
But in this episode of the beginning of the end, man, I was hoping that those 25 games, the risk of losing so much, being thrown under the bus when it comes to the court of public opinion, and putting really the entire future of your career at risk, I thought that would be the end of that chapter. In 2 weeks, he his dad has come out and bragged about he's got the same. Ja has the same circle of friends. The dad, after being sort of blamed for the lack of maturity, is front row pregame, whooping it up, dancing like he's P. Diddy. And now here's your celebration after a dunk, and it was a great game. They finished the game in a way, I think that was an overtime game. Great fashion.
With an L though, right?
No. That was the game before. They lost last night. We're gonna talk about that one. But now you do the hit him up, shoot him up celebration. I don't know if it's the end for him. The beginning of the end normally comes with some remarkable changes in behavior. Like, that's why people are making sure that their gym membership is up to date. That's why people are asking for workout gear for Christmas. That's why people are ordering. They're making remarkable changes because they are celebrating the beginning of the end. And that's not where I see Jah Morant. And it scares me, to be honest. It scares me. I'll give you last word on it, man, because
he's gonna. I probably would have gave him a pass if he just did the first one. He could have been like, I was just pointing. But he did all 3. At what point did he start saying? Because I've had some stuff where you put your foot in your mouth and you like, oh, I was caught up in the moment and I did whatever. But man, like, there has to be part of you that just realizes I can't do that. I can't say that anymore. These actions are just not me. And they're gonna say, the worst thing is someone's gonna ask him about it. He's gonna have something bad to say. He could just be like, "Yeah, I got caught up in the moment, man. You're right. I shouldn't have done that," and he could move on. He won't though. He's gonna say, "I gotta be me. I gotta keep it for the culture."
And I put, in this banner, Jah Morant is back, and that is the good and the bad of Jah Morant. I just beg
Clarence.
I just beg those adults that have young athletes within their care, parents, coaches, whomever, mentors, is that we really got to push back, because when young people see that he's back, and they went on a 4-game winning streak. And, he had the game winner in his first game back. This is like a storybook ending to, what the next chapter should have looked like and how he's going to take this and just run with it. But they also see he's back in terms of, I'm just going to do me. And I think that what gets lost in that is that they think that there's a level of invincibility that goes along with being a star that they will one day come to realize just doesn't exist. No one is untouchable. So Jah Morant, I love seeing him back. I love seeing him make plays. The fact that his first game back, he had the game-winning score and scored like 25 points in the second half or something like that. All of those things were what I was planning to discuss, and then I see the shoot 'em up. Last night, that streak was broken with Jah Morant being back. None other than Joker of the Denver Nuggets helped that in a perfect triple-double. And what do I mean by that? He was 11 for 11 from the field. He was 1 for 1 from the three-point line, 3 for 3 from the free throw line in a triple-double. There's only one other player.
Did he get every rebound that he went up for, though? Every pass that he threw in the basket.
Perfect is a scoring association.
I don't know. I think we're being a little too liberal.
Too nice on him. But I'll say
he
this.
didn't shoot enough, as far as I'm concerned.
He's in rare air.
100%, you didn't shoot enough.
He's in rare air.
But they won.
Only one other person. He's done it 3 times. Only one other person has ever had a triple-double with a perfect stat line scoring, and that other person was Wilt Chamberlain. And he did it 3 times in his whole career.
And I bet you he scored 50 on what he did.
Yeah, he probably did. But my point is that, we are at this point, bro, where, man, the Joker's doing some unreal stuff, man. Shout out to the Joker. We've got this week before we take it home, man, because we're going to go college football. Let me just go one more mention of pro football, and just tell me who you got, because this week, very important games. You got the Dolphins playing the Ravens. Who you got?
Dolphins.
You got Dolphins winning that?
I need them. My fantasy team. I got Cheetah. I got Tua. I got the kicker and their defense. Dolphins.
You got the Dolphins winning that. All right. And if you got the Dolphins winning that, let me know who you have. Hold on, as I bring this up. Let me know who you had on the next one. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Bop, bop, bop. Bop, bop, bop. It's always tough to do both. All right. The Chiefs versus the Bengals. Who you got?
The Chiefs. They can't keep losing. The Chiefs.
Eventually he's going to win. I think the Ravens are too hot right now. I think Lamar wins the MVP in this last game. Not last game, but in another big high-profile game that has a lot of playoff implications. I got the Ravens winning that one. And I think that the Chiefs do keep losing. I think that the Bengals figure out a way, man. Jamar Chase came out talking trash. I think the Bengals win this one. And, that's the only way. They're holding on by a thread, keeping their playoff hopes alive. And they've been playing pretty well. The Bengals and I was going to say the Broncos, but they are benching Russell Wilson. The Bengals don't seem like the team that you want to play right now. They're hot at a time where the Chiefs are not. Chiefs look like they need Eric Bieniemy back, man. Chiefs are struggling.
Or Cheetah.
Somebody. They need something back.
They're trying to get too cute.
Let's go home with this, man, since it is a playoff season. And I say playoffs, not NFL playoffs, but college football playoffs. But the playoffs, I would also include the bowl game. So I saw that you brought out your mug. Let's start there when it comes to bowl season. Your mug is out, has a big end on it. It's the Wildcats in a coach's first season where nobody gave them a chance. They dealt with a whole bunch of off-season, I don't call it drama because I don't want to minimize it, but there was some off-season challenges, and their coach was replaced because of those off-season challenges. There was a whole conversation about hazing because of those challenges. The kids could have tanked, and they could have packed it in and had every excuse for reasons not to play good football. And instead, they came out and had a great season, won their bowl game. I wanted to make sure I gave the right acknowledgement and props to Northwest Wildcats, because they're going to think you just being a homer, you're a dad. Of course, you're going to say it. I don't have any dog in the fight other than respect towards any coach that can get young men to do that when there's so many distractions, so many reasons for them to make excuses, and no one would have thought less of them to have a losing season. Says something about the young men that Northwestern does go out and recruit and retain. Shout out to Northwestern Wildcats for making the best out of the season, winning a very impressive fashion in their bowl game out in Las Vegas. I know you were there. You can pick up from there if you want, but I wanted to make sure I gave props to the
No,
Wildcats.
I say, shout out to Coach Braun. Shout out to the all the kids there. When you look at it in comparison to, we see a lot of people make comparisons to Deion Sanders. They both took over a 111 team. Deion recycled his whole staff, recycled everything, did all kinds of rah-rah, had every rapper out there, sold out the stadiums, did whatever. We played in front of high school crowds. We lost. We didn't really gain. We gained Ben Bryant, the quarterback. We gained some guys. Let me take that. We gained some guys before Braun took over. We lost some guys after he took over. They had the 30-day window for people to transfer, and people took advantage of it. And we persevered. We came back, and to be honest with you, we're one blocked field goal away from playing for a Big Ten championship. We lost to Iowa 10-7, and they had to block a punt, not field goal. They blocked a punt. Otherwise, they never would have scored. So I say it was a great season with great kids. We're still not losing that many people in the portal. It's a great culture. You could do it. You could do it different ways. Now, are we going to win a national championship? Did we win one? No, I don't want to say that, but we beat Deion, and Deion brought a lot more goons in than we did. He spent a lot more money than we did. Now I wish we were spending some money, but that's a different topic.
Good stuff, man. Any other bowl games stand out before we talk about the college football playoff? Notre Dame plays Oregon State today in about 45 minutes. So we'll be
honestly. I just think bowl season's been great. Just watching these games. Kansas State looked good last night. Watching them win a game.
Yeah.
It's just been fun. I'm a football junkie. And, the writers went on strike for TV this year, so I got to watch a lot more football than I normally would, because Wednesday night, Thursday night, date night at the Florida House. And
Wednesday night and Thursday night. That's how you get to survive.
So that's a good marriage, man. Got two nights. I got to go back to back. And so that just means stuff getting expensive, but I'll leave it at that. But without that, I'm watching a lot of more MAC football and different things of that nature. It's just been great football. The Big Ten, I believe, is undefeated right now in bowl games. We kicked it off. We'll see what happens. So it's been great. I'm looking forward to today.
What I've liked about bowl season, the beginning of the end, is it comes a lot sooner for kids these days because of the transfer portal, because of NIL, people opting out. So the end was sort of enacted earlier for a lot of players. Mm-hmm. And what that did was it also opened up the beginning for other players. Like the backup quarterback for USC went out there and lit Louisville up. Lit their ass up. And to see some of these young players, as a redshirt freshman from who was that yesterday? I'm sorry, I went blank on the team. There was a redshirt freshman from
Kansas State.
Right? Yeah, but the game before that, there's a bunch of storylines that include someone getting an opportunity because another player has moved on for whatever reason. The transfer portal, because of that window, I'm hoping that they start doing that a little smarter, so more players stay and play the bowl game. But the beginning was brought sooner for a lot of players, and watching these young players go out and get an opportunity and make the most out of it creates another storyline, but also maintains the value of these bowl games, because over the last several weeks, when we saw all these players opt out, there's been this ongoing debate as to whether or not we should reduce the number of bowl games, whether or not the bowl season still has value. And watching young players step up and take advantage of their opportunity with their parents watching, with people back at home watching, it I think gives a whole different life to college football, and I've enjoyed it. It's been fun to watch.
I agree 100%. There's going to be some casualties. People could make the argument a different way. You got the Florida State quarterback deciding to opt out. He doesn't want to play, but I don't blame him. He's not getting paid. There's people getting – the quarterback that got hurt was getting all this money. He probably wasn't getting paid, and he's like, why am I going to risk myself when I can go transfer? So you're going to that's the negative side. But the side you said, some kids get a chance to get their talents displayed, and they're out there for the first time.
Yeah.
When the whole world is watching, and they get to really shine. And so the fan base gets to see a peek of the future of what we have. So I think it's fantastic.
We are at the beginning of the end when it comes to college football. We got 4 teams left when it comes to the playoffs and the championship. You've got Alabama, the 4 seed, playing Michigan, the 1 seed. Are you going Big Ten? Is your heart or your head gonna make this decision? Who you got winning that one?
If I'm being honest, I had to say it's hard for me to go against Nick Saban. He's been there before.
With a month to prepare.
I hate to say that I'm rooting for Michigan because I know people over there now. If that's the only reason why, because I hate Michigan in my heart from my Notre Dame years. But at the same time, it's hard for me to root against Alabama. So I'm just going to stay away from this one. I'm going to bet this one.
I'm going Bama. Nick Saban with a month to prepare is like a freaking weapon of mass destruction. He does not leave anything on the planet when he's got a month to prepare. Then we got the 2-seed Washington versus the 3-seed Texas. Who you got in that one?
We'll go Washington on that one. I think Texas had a good game against Bama earlier and beat their heads in at home, but Bama was still figuring it out. And really, they just look lackluster since the rest of the season. They had a great conference championship game. Besides that, they just really haven't done much. And I think Oklahoma got beaten in the ball game yesterday too, didn't they? Or did they win?
Say that again.
Did Oklahoma get beat yesterday in their ball game?
I don't know. I didn't check that score.
I can't remember. Anyway, long story short, I got Washington and Bama for the national championship to win it all.
All right, so we agree. I got Washington and Bama. I don't know who wins the championship, but I have Washington advancing as well. I like to see the game before I predict who wins it all. I need to see what Washington can do with some additional pressure and additional speed versus Texas. So we shall see. They lost to Arizona. Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
So what I would say is,
they got some goons over there.
Yeah, they do. All right. Well, this has been amazing bowl season because we've seen so much young talent. This has been an amazing year, 2023. Your highs and your lows were put there for a reason. I'm a man of faith, and I believe that everything is there for a reason. Please do weigh in. Who do you guys have winning in each of the college football playoff games? Do you have Alabama over Michigan, or is Michigan going to beat Alabama? The 1 versus 4? Is Washington the 2 going to beat the 3 Texas, or is Texas going to beat Washington? Please weigh in. But most importantly, as you prepare for the end of this year, as you prepare to get your New Year's Eve celebration on, as you prepare to start all of your New Year's resolutions, we wish you nothing but the best. We are thankful that you are part of our family here at the Ball Hog Sports Talk. We know you can spend your time, your hour, any way imaginable. You could be anywhere in the world, but you choose to be here. For those of you who continue to like, comment, share, tag a friend, tag a foe, tag anyone that you know. Please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and the podcast. For those who keep taking the opportunity to do that, it doesn't cost you anything, but you are doing the world of favors to us. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It has been a phenomenal year to be a Ball Hog Sports Talk member, and we out. Any parting words from 2023?
Man, we'll see y'all next year, baby. Let's go. Don't drink too much. Some of y'all need to be in bed by 9 on New Year's Eve. Don't be trying to act out there with these young people out here in the streets. Don't be doing all that kind of stuff. From streets. Well, love y'all, man. See y'all next year, man. We out.
We out. Peace.